James Harden is over there in China and he dissed Daryl Morey. Now he was asked a question. I didn't hear what the question was, just seeing the clip that you guys seen. He says, well, I never want to be part of an organization, or I won't be part of an organization that Daryl Morey's a part of. Now him and Daryl Morey was very, very close. Going back to Houston, that was his guy. Now apparently Daryl Morey broke a promise to him, so he called him a liar. Let's talk about it. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop a video. So apparently the promise was, shout out to my boy Urban Politician. Go check out his channel, Urban Politician. Shout out to my Texas boys. And he was talking about in his video, they pulled up some things where he basically said that you know, with people putting 1 and 1 together or 2 and 2 together, they basically was saying that he was promised a max contract of some sort, not sure about the tenure of it, and basically they didn't give it to him. Now, you know, he cried his way out of Houston, cried his way out of Brooklyn. Now some people say, well, it's like he crying his way out of Philly, but this is why you always put caveats in there. You know, like we gonna give you the max as long as we, you know, win, or as long as you perform up the standards. And that sounds like why Harden took the pay cut. He said, I take the pay cut because then they gonna give me on the max on the back end. And when they said, no, we ain't gonna give you the max, probably because you choked, you know, versus Boston or whatever it was in the playoffs, then he was like, okay, I don't want to be part of the organization no more. Now people saying it was Doc Rivers and all this type of stuff, and maybe that did play a part into it. But yeah, it just wouldn't be smart to give him the max right now. And maybe, you know, Daryl Morey was like, okay, I'll give him the max, and the owner said no. And maybe telling the ownership, or Daryl saying, well, the ownership don't want to give you the money. I want to give you the money, but they don't want to give you the money. Or maybe Daryl Morey just spoke out of turn and just lied to get him to take less to sign more with PJ Tucker and the guys he brought last year in, and figured they won a championship, they'll win it, or they'll have success, and he'd just come back because he got the player option. But nobody giving James Harden the max. 34 years old, habitual playoff choker. Nobody giving him that amount of money, but you know, that's why you got to say, well, you know, we take less now, we get you the max. If we, you know, if you playing up the standard, we get the max then. But excuse me, one of the issues is he could have walked away and went to go sign somewhere else, but nobody wanted him after last year's performance in Game 1 versus Boston. With no Joel Embiid, he balled out, and they got the win. You know, for the rest of the series, I think he had one other good game in the series. It was a wrap. You just let you know it's mental with James Harden. It's all mental. When it was a game where they had no pressure to win it, he played his best versus Boston. Just let you know, when the pressure on James, it busts. It don't never build diamonds. When he playing with no pressure, I mean, if you building a super team, you don't want to build it with James Harden, because you're too dependent on the superstars themselves. The same thing I'm pointing out in Phoenix. They too dependent on guys that's been injured a bunch in their career. You know, you dependent on KD. He been injured ever since the Achilles injury. You dependent on Devin Booker. He can never stay healthy. And then, you know, you dependent on DeAndre Ayton, where he's a mental midget. So, and Bradley Beal probably has some injuries throughout his career as well. I don't follow the Wizards that much, but that's what you're dependent on. If you're going to depend on 3 or 4 guys, they got to be Iron Man. And we know they don't build Iron Man no more in the NBA. No real Iron Man, no more Cal Ripkins, especially in NBA, you know, in the sports no more for real. So, but nonetheless, but if you was promised something and that's your boy and he break your promise, it's one thing if your enemy break a promise, one thing if somebody you really mess with break a promise. I feel him. But what's so deep about it, he went over to China and dissed Daryl Morey. Now, if you didn't know, Daryl Morey is what broke the relationship up between China and the NBA with a tweet about their government policies or whatever it was, or how they run their stuff over there, which that's why a lot of people go around the world, a lot of people don't like the perception of America. They don't like Americans. Because we always putting our nose where it don't belong. Had he just saved the tweet and not posted the tweet, guess what? The NBA got a whole bunch of revenue still coming in. You probably don't have to put patches on their goddamn jerseys. If they did, the patches just be additional revenue. They lost a bunch of money over that tweet. But, you know, some people say if Daryl Morey, you know, looked a little bit more like James Harden, that he would know he wouldn't even be, he'd been froze out the NBA. You know? Let's keep it real. You know, and some people believe that to be true. But they kept him around instead of exiling him. And Trump came out and said something like, don't apologize. Stand on what you said about China. Don't be weak. So, I mean, it is what it is. So that's the dynamic. That's about the dynamic of him going all the way over to China and saying what he said. That's the dynamic about it, because you went right there to the very same people that got his tweet destroyed by the NBA. I mean, by the very same people in China who he destroyed the relationship with a tweet. How people run their household, I ain't got nothing to say. You know, if kids involved or it's unsafe for somebody, then okay. I mean, hey, I feel y'all. If you feel a kid that's in danger, but how they run their policies and their government and all that, it's none of our business. You know, you will see somebody getting stumped out on the corner and you won't even say nothing or do nothing. Remember at the end of Squid Games where he bet him and said, you know, I bet nobody come help this man within 15 minutes that's freezing down on the corner, and somebody did come. But a lot of times people walk right by not trying to help people. But then again, he want to go all the way over there. He won't stop and give a guy no change. But then he want to go all the way around, you know, and make a tweet. And he probably didn't think it was going to have the effect that it did have and destroy a relationship. So the diss that James Harden did was just that much more sweeter. Why? Because he went to China, the very same people that Daryl Morey helped destroy a relationship with the NBA with. It was a super diss. It was a triple slap. It was a grand slam. It was a walk-off grand slam. It was a walk-off grand slam. Exactly what it was. So, you know, it was what it was. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check out the NBA Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJGood313, Venmo, CJGood313, PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree, find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, the whole nine. Peace.